yeah, I still, I still, get a little bit of a like, who's this person talking? Every time I hit that button. Okay, so on the share screen, I've now just got the course again because I want to then just show you some things. So what's very important then is that I want you to upload your ID and I want you to upload your CV. And then also I want you to make sure that you've done assignment 1 and assignment number 2, because those are the two theory bits, and I want us to start moving over to the practical. So what you have to do as an assessor is you've got to follow the steps in the assessment process. That means you've got to plan and prepare for assessment. You've got to conduct the assessment. You've got to give feedback on the assessment, and you've got to review assessments. So I'm just going to send you some guides on how you can make the video a bit smaller so that you can upload it there for me. But in your pre-assessment briefing, you will be explaining to a learner how to, using these documents in this section, you'll explain to your learner what you're going to be doing with them. So I'm going to stop the screen share quickly, and then I'm going to just bring up the PowerPoint, because I just want to draw that picture again that I drew the last time. In that you'll remember I had asked how many people were involved in the assessment. So how many people were involved in the assessment? And then we said that there would be 3 people directly involved. So I'm just going to make a little block for them. And then there's another person who's indirectly involved. So my role is I'm essentially the moderator. Why do I say that? I say that because I am going to be looking at whether you're conducting your assessment appropriately. So I'm the moderator. You then are going to be the assessor. And you will be assessing the learner. So assessors assess the performance of the learner. Now, for the unit standard on which you will be assessed is unit standard, or that you will be assessing the learner on, is unit standard 9303. I'm going to be making use of unit standard 115753 to assess you. Because essentially what the moderator is doing, the moderator is checking that your assessments have taken place properly. So essentially it means that every time you get moderated, it's essentially the same as if you were being assessed on this assessor unit standard again. Okay, so this 9303 unit standard, you did a matrix on it. But what's important on it is that your learner has to communicate with a client, and they've got to find out what this client wants. They want to, give this client results, etc., etc. Okay, so then there is the customer. So these 2 people will be interacting while you are observing them, and also you're doing a product evaluation to see what they've done. Okay, so I said that the assessment process has got 4 steps. The assessment process has got 4 steps. So can anyone maybe in the chat just type for me what the 4 steps in the assessment process is? So what are the 4 steps that an assessor has to do every time they do an assessment? So there is the first section, which is the plan and prepare. And of course, the planning and the preparation involves both you and all of your learners. Then what's the next step? What's the next thing that takes place? Anyone? It is the conduct stage. So you plan and prepare, and then you conduct the assessment. And of course, the conduct assessment also involves the learner, because the learner has to do the task. After you've finished assessing the learner, what's the step that then takes place? The feedback step. And again, that will involve you and the learners. Then the last step that you're going to do is you're going to do the review. But the review doesn't actually involve the learner, and it doesn't involve the learner or the customer. It only involves you as the assessor, because you as the assessor are going to be thinking about your own performance. You're going to be thinking about what you could improve on the next time, how the assessment documents could be improved, all of those. Okay, so this then in short is just how the picture looks. So the moderator is going to be monitoring your performance as the assessor, and the moderator then would look to see if you've planned and prepared, if you conducted the assessment, if you gave feedback on the assessment to the learner, and if you've reviewed the assessment. And that evidence from that you're going to be gathering when the learner and the customer are interacting. So that's what the assessment picture looks like. So in our classes before I got sick, we were dealing with the pre-assessment briefing, and you then need to make those videos, and we need to upload them. So remember, the whole purpose of the planning and the preparation is to help your learner get ready for the assessment process. So what I'm now actually doing is a little bit of that. Because what I want to do now is I just have to open up the right thing now. So you see over there, you've got assignment 3 and assignment 4. That's your first assessment, and that's your second assessment. And then over here is where you're going to be completing your review form. You're going to be completing the review form there. So these steps, you're not going to be doing inside this ordinary course of yours. You are going to be doing it in the sample assessment course. So for example, what we've got there is, this is now the course in which you would be on NASU. This would be your course, and you're then going to be assessing the learner here, the 2 learners. So the first thing that you would do is you would log into this course of yours, and then you would click here on upload identification documents. Then you'll see that it says that there's 2 submitted and 2 that needs grading. And then you would click on grade. Now, obviously, this is a fake ID because, we're not really going to be uploading someone's ID in there because that brings up confidentiality problems. But this is a real fake ID. So you can then give him 100% here, and you can make the comment that it is correct. Then you can just click there, and then you can say save and continue, and then that's going to take you to the second learner. And then you'll see the second learner here is Yvonne Trump. Okay. Then you would click over here at the top just to go back to the course, and then you would check that has she submitted her CV. Then you would go in here on the pre-assessment briefing, and then you would click on grade to see whether she's uploaded it. So then you would just check to see if they filled in this document. You'd give them a grade, and then you would say correct, and then you would go on to the next one. But of course, in real life, you would be giving that briefing that you're recording, you would be giving it here to the student. But the student, you've given it now to the student. They've uploaded their document, and they've uploaded their document. You don't have to check anything in the library. You don't have to check anything in the Zoom class. And then over here, you'll see the knowledge assessment. So then you would click here where it says assignment number 1. Then you would click here where it says attempts number 3. And then you would see that there's Joe and there's Yvonne's attempt. Then you would click on review attempt. And then you would be able to, there you'll see, this is the question. This is their answer. And then if you want to mark it, you click over there. And then it will show you in yellow here the memo. So this blue area is the question. The white area is their answer, which you then compare against this yellow section. And then you give them a grade out of 3. And then you make a comment for how well you think they answered it. And then you would do the same with each of the questions that they've done. And then you would just click here on the breadcrumb to go back to the workbook. And then you would mark the second person. Then you would go back into your course. Then you would take a look here at assignment number 2, and then for them, and then you would click there on grade. So remember, this unit standard is all about communicating verbally. So there is a video of Joe talking to the customer, and then you've got to click on how you feel he's done on each of these points. If you find him not here, if you say that he did poorly against it, you've got to justify it with a comment. And then over here, you would want to then just put your feedback comments about how you perceive their performance. And remember, this is very important because I, as the moderator, will be taking a look at this. Okay, and then after you've done that, you would click on top here to mark for the next one. Then you would go, and then you would click here on assignment number 3. And then you would click here on grades, and then you would mark the notes. So what's very important for you is the notes that are written down here must match the video in the earlier section. If the notes in the video don't overlap, then it's not going to, I'm not going to pass you on your assessment, because remember, you're assessing them on whether these notes reflect what actually happened. And over here, you'll see that you can then once again just make a selection on how the person did. And then you can just write the comments about how they did over there. Then you would save, and you would go over to the next person. And that's then where you're going to stop on this practical assignment, because what we're then going to be doing is then the learner is going to give you feedback, And then we're going to talk about how to give feedback to learners, the model of feedback. And then we are going to be talking about how to do the review and the other assignments. So as you can see, the actual work that you've got remaining after your assignment number 2 is actually something that you would be able to do in a couple of hours. So what I'm now going to ask you is that instead of us continuing on, I want you to make sure that you can log onto the site. Then you go to the sample assessment course that has your name on it. It should be showing here on the side. And then I want you to mark it. And then on Wednesday, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to give the feedback. Okay. So Graham, any questions from your side?
Nope, no questions from our side, Dirk.
Okay. Onazu, any questions from your side?
No questions, Dirk.
Yeah. So I'll be putting this video up as well, but one of the things I also just want to show you is these step-by-steps that I went through. It's also in this document that says how to assess in Moodle Audit Campus 2020. That document is going to also, how can I put it? It shows all of the same things that I've just done. Okay. So I'll be putting up the video as soon as it's ready this evening. Fistos, do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're still on mute. Okay, now you're unmute.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay, so everyone, that's then going, unfortunately, going to be all for this evening. So if you can please see if you can finish this up for me by Wednesday, I'd appreciate that. Because one of the things that I want you all to know is that I'm busy arranging a verification visit. So if you could manage to finish up on your work this week, then we'll actually, you mark the work, then on Wednesday we do the feedback, and then on Friday we do the review. Then we should be fit. And that means that you can get your statement of results as soon as the CETA has come. Because it's not going to be this week, but it's probably going to be next week or the week after that. Okay, so on that note, then I'm going to just stop the screen share, and then I'm going to say I want everybody to have a lovely and safe evening, and then as soon as I've got the video up, I'll just send it on the WhatsApp group as well. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Dirk.